The war in Ukraine is still raging. May 12, 2026. Ukraine's 59th Assault Brigade operating on the Donetsk front. And Russian soldiers moving alone through open terrain, one by one, with nowhere to go. Watch these engagements. Each soldier spotted individually, tracked, and struck. No cover, no support, no counter-drone response. Others try to run, but open ground offers nothing when a drone is already locked on. This is what drone saturation looks like at the individual level. Not a dramatic assault, not a tank battle. Just isolated soldiers caught in the open with no answer to what's above them. In some sectors, simply being seen from the air is already enough to become a target. This time, a drone operator from Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit spotted an older Russian soldier inside a trench near Pokrovsk. The soldier appeared visibly nervous, constantly looking around, likely trying to check whether drones were nearby. But he never noticed the reconnaissance drone already watching him from above. A short time later, he left the trench and moved toward a wooded area, eventually sitting beneath a tree to hide. As an FPV drone rapidly approached his position, he either failed to notice it or chose to remain completely still after hearing it. In the end, he could not avoid becoming the drone's target. A Skelia 425 drone operator spots a Russian soldier moving across open ground. The field around him is covered with discarded fiber optic cables, traces of countless drones already used in this sector. Unaware he is being watched, the soldier continues walking as a fiber optic FPV drone closes in. With no radio signal to jam or disrupt, escape becomes nearly impossible. One of the most desperate moments on the front line. Open terrain, one drone, and one Russian soldier. With nowhere to hide, the soldier's only option is to run. But across open ground, there is no real cover and no place to escape. After a long chase lasting several minutes, the soldier is ultimately unable to avoid the FPV drone. In this footage, a drone operator from Ukraine's 63rd Brigade spots a Russian soldier in open terrain wearing a thermal camouflage poncho designed to reduce visibility to thermal cameras. But it was already daytime. As the drone approached, the soldier stopped moving completely, seemingly believing the camouflage would hide him if he stayed still. It didn't. The strike followed moments later. In this footage, a Magyar Birds drone operator scanning the battlefield from high altitude spots movement beneath a tree and immediately moves in to investigate. As the drone gets closer, it becomes clear that the movement is a Russian soldier resting in the shade. The older soldier attempts to raise and use his weapon after noticing the drone, but by then, there is almost no time left to react. When the drone spots you before you hear it, does raising a rifle ever change the outcome? Ukraine's Rubaka drone unit of the 77th Airmobile Brigade spots a Russian T-72 tank moving on the battlefield. The T-72 remains one of Russia's most modernized tank platforms, equipped with upgraded armor and improved combat systems. But on today's battlefield, detection itself has become the real danger. 2 FPV drones locate the tank and move in. This has become a recurring pattern in the war. Once a vehicle is spotted by reconnaissance drones, surviving repeated FPV strikes becomes extremely difficult. Same unit, same operation. A Russian D-2152mm howitzer, damaged in Luhansk Oblast. A tank and a howitzer in the same sortie. 2 completely different target types. One mobile, one static. Both found and struck by the same drone crews. The D-20 has a range of over 17 kilometers. Every round it fires that doesn't get fired is a strike that never lands on Ukrainian positions. A Ukrainian FPV drone from the Aramaha unit tracks a Russian soldier through dense bushes and tree branches. The operator's precision is clear, weaving through obstacles, staying on target, never losing visual. The soldier tries to use the vegetation as a path to escape. It doesn't work. He has a rifle, but never raises it. Maybe if he had fired back, would that have changed anything? The final hours of the May ceasefire. Soldiers evacuate a fallen Ukrainian serviceman. One last chance to move under relative silence. On the Oleksandrivsky direction, the truce has remained relatively quiet. Large-scale assault activity has been absent since winter, with Russian forces reportedly unable to sustain major offensive operations in the area. When the guns fall silent, the fallen come home. SIGNUM Battalion operating deep in Russian rear areas, far from the contact line, where most drone units simply don't reach. And look at the target list. Trucks, quad bikes, vehicles, generators, communication antennas, ammunition stockpiles, and a Russian Mavic drone taken out on the ground before it could launch. This is deliberate targeting logic. Not just the soldiers on the front line, but everything that sustains them. Cut the fuel, cut the ammunition, cut the communications, and the units at the contact line start degrading on their own. If logistics and communications are now the primary targets, how long can any force sustain frontline operations under this kind of pressure? This time, a drone operator from Ukraine's 66th Mechanized Brigade spotted a Russian soldier in southern Donetsk attempting to hide inside a BMP armored vehicle. It turned out to be a major mistake. Ukrainian drones began repeatedly dropping munitions directly onto the vehicle. What the soldier believed was a safe shelter quickly became a trap. After multiple strikes hit the BMP, the soldier was unable to escape. Huliaipol direction, Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Ukraine's 475th Assault Regiment, Code 9.2, and medium-range UAVs with autonomous target acquisition systems targeting Russian logistics. This detail matters. Autonomous target acquisition means the drone doesn't rely entirely on the operator to identify and lock onto a target. The system does it independently. Faster acquisition, less operator error, harder to defeat with jamming. The targets here are logistics vehicles, the supply chain feeding Russian frontline units. Cut the fuel, cut the ammunition, cut the food. And the units at the contact line start to degrade without a single direct engagement. Kherson Oblast. A Mirage 2005 fighter jet targets a camouflaged basement hidden beneath vegetation on a farm northwest of Zavitny. The position was reportedly being used by Russian forces. One pass, one bomb. The structure collapses. Sting interceptors operated by SBU Alpha crews destroyed 14 Russian drones, including 7 Zala systems, 3 Knyazveshchi Oleg drones, and single Merlin, Lancet, Supercam, and Scat units. The interceptors were equipped with the Hornet Vision 360 digital video system, allowing operators to track targets without rotating the antenna during pursuit. 14 drones were heading toward targets. None of them arrived. When interceptor units are consistently destroying more than 10 drones per operation, is drone interception becoming just as important as drone strikes themselves? A drone, likely Russian, captures a barrage of rocket fire striking Ukrainian positions in Mariinka, Donetsk Oblast. The camera shakes, explosions cover the ground. The footage serves as a reminder. Firepower alone doesn't win ground. When the rockets stop, what follows? Russian artillery from the Siberian unit opening fire on Ukrainian positions. This is the other side of the front line. What incoming fire looks like from the Russian perspective. Artillery remains one of the primary weapons in this war, responsible for a significant portion of casualties on both sides. As both sides continue to use artillery alongside drones, which do you think causes more damage on this battlefield? Ukrainian Special Operations Forces, middle strike drone units hitting Russian depots, command posts, and logistics bases across Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhzhia, and even Belgorod Oblast inside Russia. Ammunition depots in Satana and Boykivska, a repair base in Mykolaiivka, a command post in Sviatotroitska, logistics facilities in Rovenki, a training range in Kulikivska, and a UAV unit base in Novaya Tavaljanka. all struck between late April and early May. The FP2 carries a 105-kilogram warhead and has a 200-kilometer range. Every depot hit means fewer shells for the front. Every repair base destroyed leaves equipment unrepaired. Every command post gone degrades coordination. When the support network that keeps an army fighting is systematically dismantled, how long can the front line hold? That's everything for today. May 12th, 2026, day 1539 of this war. Since the beginning of May 12th, 69 combat engagements have been recorded on the front line. Russian forces continue to assault most heavily in the Pokrovsk direction, with additional pressure on the Lyman, Siversk, and Vovchansk axes. Russian total losses have now crossed 1,341,000 personnel since February 2022. Ukrainian forces recently advanced in the Slovyansk direction and in the Kostiantynivka-Drushkivka tactical area, a notable shift as Russia's spring-summer offensive continues to struggle for momentum. And in the air, 13 Russian air defense elements destroyed by Ukrainian drone units in just the first 12 days of May. The pace of the air defense destruction campaign is accelerating. Every radar gone opens another corridor deeper into Russian-held territory. The front holds. The drone war never stops. Subscribe for daily frontline coverage. No agenda, just the facts. See you in the next one.